Do you sometimes expect people to just know what it is that you want without telling them? Well, when you're dealing with ChatGPT, with artificial intelligence, it's not at the level yet where it can read your mind. So you need to be specific with the instructions that you give it. And that's why artificial intelligence, applications like ChatGPT can actually help you become better at human relations, because it trains you to provide clear instructions, to clearly communicate your expectations, to state what it is that you're looking for, so that it can deliver upon what it is that you want it to produce. In the same time, you can apply that logic to the way that you're communicating with people in the business, with your clients, with peers in the marketplace, so that they understand what you want. So rather than artificial intelligence replacing humans, I think it can actually help us to become better humans. That's our topic of discussion on today's episode. Hello, welcome to episode 145 of CResuccess, the podcast. My name's Darren Krukowiak. I help commercial real estate leaders to develop their people and also to grow their business. If you are watching us on YouTube, please do subscribe to this channel. And if you're listening to us on Apple Podcasts, hit that plus button so you get notified whenever we do release another new episode. Really appreciate you choosing to spend another 10 or so minutes with us, because this is a continuation on our previous episode where we talked about 3 specific strategies that you can use with ChatGPT. In our previous episode, we did cover how you can make ChatGPT just as quirky or as unique as you. We also covered how you can use ChatGPT to help you practice overcoming objections. And we showed you some ways that ChatGPT can outline content for you on social media. In today's episode, I want to talk to you about ways that ChatGPT can create killer marketing campaigns and help you deliver more value to your vendors and refresh your listings. We'll give you 2 ways to do that. We'll also show you how ChatGPT can write pitch perfect paragraphs for you. You just deliver some dot points and ChatGPT turns that into formal correspondence like that. Plus, we'll also show you how ChatGPT can make sense of a complicated world by simplifying information that you give to it. For example, you can ask it to write market commentaries and deliver other analysis in a way that is relevant for your specialization. Now, all of the concepts that I'm going to show you today will be delivered to you word for word. The prompts that you need to put into ChatGPT, don't feel like you need to copy down what I'm saying, because I'll deliver word for word for you the resources, the exact prompts that you need to put into ChatGPT so that you can produce the same results that we're going to show you in today's episode. So the strategy that we want to talk about first today is about marketing copy. Now, the way that I've been using ChatGPT is to actually tell it to be a professional copywriter, to assume the role of a professional copywriter, because copywriting is one of those really, I guess, difficult skills that doesn't come naturally to many of us who work in commercial real estate. And when you tell it to be a professional copywriter, it will write better copy. And in this particular example, I've just asked it to write an online property listing based on a few parameters of the property, and I asked them to make it irresistible to the reader to request an inspection. So I provided a bit of information about the property, and here it is. It's produced a nice ad, which I could then put into an online listing. But I personally feel like what it's produced for me is a little bit long. So maybe I need to provide it with a little bit more instruction. So I just said, regenerate the above with less than 200 words and the use of dot points. And then it has regenerated what it created with some dot points, some number points. It even provides a nice disclaimer that the measurements are approximate and buyers should verify details and seek professional advice on zoning regulations and lease terms. So another thing that you could possibly do, and we'll put these words in the document that we've prepared for you, is ask it to rewrite copy that you've already prepared for marketing campaigns. And this is really good. You know, when you go into a meeting with a vendor and not much has been happening, if you can say, hey, we've refreshed all of the online advertisements, then that gives you something to talk about, and that can be done very, very quickly using ChatGPT. The next strategy that I want to cover today is around pitch perfect correspondence. And the two examples that I want to give you, the first one is, let's say that you've just taken on a new listing and you want to get some momentum behind the expression of interest campaign. So you decide that you're going to share details of the listing before it is released to the general market. You're going to share that with your VIPs, with some pre-qualified buyers. So what I've asked ChatGPT to do in this circumstance is to write a formal letter of correspondence that can be sent to prospective buyers that we've already got a relationship with, letting them know that they're being invited to see the information memorandum before the launch of the campaign. And we just give a little bit of a preview of some of the highlights of this property. And in this case, it produces exactly what a formal letter should look like, including the way to lay out the address and all of that. And it writes the whole letter for us. So really, really easy. If you need templates for things that you haven't done before, this is something that you can ask ChatGPT to produce. Another example might be if you're a new leader and perhaps one of your employees is just either always late or just going absent without leave, and you've decided that it's time to provide a written warning, but you don't know what that warning should contain. Well, you could ask ChatGPT to write a formal letter of warning to an employee who has been absent without leave on 2 occasions. We want to note the impact of their actions on the business and also explain to the employee that this letter constitutes a formal warning and that if they do it again, there's going to be more serious consequences up to and including termination of employment. And ChatGPT diligently produces that letter in a matter of moments. And what I thought was really good about what it produced was that it even went to the point of pointing out that if you are facing any personal or work-related challenges that may be impacting your attendance or performance, we encourage you to discuss them with your supervisor or the human resources department, right? So if there might be something going on, perhaps if you didn't think of that and that was the reason why somebody has had a reason for their performance slipping, then this letter that it's created for us actually provides us with the prompt to make sure that we are addressing all the possible reasons for why this could be occurring. The other strategy I wanted to share with you on today's episode is around taking things that are complicated, taking things that perhaps aren't easy to explain and making them simple. And I got this particular prompt from a post from one of my connections on LinkedIn, and it's a really neat post. It says, please forget all prior prompts. And by the way, you can use please forget all prior prompts during any chat if you don't want ChatGPT to consider things that have happened earlier on in the conversation. You just ask it to please forget all prior prompts. Bit of a bonus tip for you. In this particular prompt, we're telling ChatGPT to be an expert in summarizing text, that they're known for being able to provide simplicity for things that are complicated. And we're asking it to provide a summary of between 100 and 120 words that captures the key points and the overall message of the text that I'm asking it to review. And I've given it a whole lot of instructions around, I don't want it to do this, I want it to do that. And I also am looking for a key quote at the end of the summary, just to provide a nice little, I guess, ribbon, a bow on top of the present that it's going to give me in terms of this simplified summary. And what I asked it to review was quantitative easing. Quantitative easing, I think, is one of those things that is complicated, right? So I just got an article off the internet around quantitative easing, which you can see is quite complicated. And I've said, simplify this for me. Do it in 100 and 120 words and provide me with a key quote to summarize it. And it has done exactly that. The key quote is, the biggest danger of quantitative easing is the risk of inflation. Don't we know that right now? And it provides a nice summary, which I was able to understand about what quantitative easing is as a strategy and what it seeks to achieve. Another way that you can ask ChatGPT to simplify content is to actually ask it to take content that might be somewhat relevant to your audience, but to put your own spin on it. Now, in my case, I've asked it to review some text about LinkedIn posting and content strategy. And I've said, take this article, be a bit more friendly and helpful. We want to emphasize the benefit of posting on LinkedIn a couple of times a week, and finish with a call to action inviting the reader to reply to the email or to call me for a confidential discussion about how they can leverage social media to build their personal brand and grow their production. And then I provide the article, and once again, it does a pretty nice job, but I did ask it to do that in 200 words, but for some reason it's given me what looks like more than 200 words. No problem. That's okay. I just say, refine the previous output, excluding superfluous content, and shorten it to a maximum of 200 words. And there it is. So I hope that these special episodes that we've done on ChatGPT have been helpful to you. If you want to get the exact prompts that we've been using to create these outputs in ChatGPT, so that you can spend less time on sales, marketing, and administrative tasks that can be handled by ChatGPT, then I invite you to go to cresuccess.co/ChatGPT, all one word, ChatGPT, and you can grab our free resource, which is the ChatGPT guide for commercial real estate agents, with the exact prompts that we've used to create this episode and also our previous episode of the show. The 6 strategies plus a few more in there as well. Go to cresuccess.co/ChatGPT and you can grab that resource for free. That is our episode for today. Thank you so much for listening, and I will speak to you soon.